Hey, I'm going to make a little tutorial how to calculate NDVI in ArcGIS Pro. So this is going to just use our Lab 6 data that you guys are probably familiar with. If you're not, I'll show you. So data lab set, this is data set 1. Okay, so that is in this folder, Lab 6 data, so lab data set 1. All right, this is what happens when we bring it in. This is the crop circles. Of course, let's see. We can check out false color composites or true color. Just always in our Pro, you might need to change the red band around and the blue band around. Okay, that's better. So just check your symbology. Okay. So that's that, and then this would be, yeah, there we go. So that's what you can see with false color composite NIR. But I'm going to show you how to calculate NDVI. So the easiest way to do it was, let me see if I can move this. Cool. Easiest way to do it is if you have your data set right there, you can easily calculate. So if you have that data set highlighted, you got an imagery tab, you can do indices, and then you can do NDVI right there. It's pretty easy. All you have to do is tell what the NIR band is, and then from that lab, I think band 4 was NIR, and band 3 was red. So, and this is, yeah, Landsat 5. So just be careful when you're doing Landsat 8 and 9. Those bands are going to be shifted a little bit. Okay, so once we do that, band 4, band 3, this should calculate NDVI for us. Right there, that's NDVI. Looks good to me. You gotta be also careful. This data set saves into memory. So if you want to use it outside ArcGIS Pro, you're probably gonna have to save it in a different folder. So to do that, let's see, go to data, we go export raster, and this will boot up this pane right here. And tells you the output data set right here. And I'm going to set it to this folder right here. So I think we're here already. Yeah, Lab 6 data. I'm just going to name it dataset 1, NDVI. And then I'm going to do a few versions of how to do NDVI. So I'm going to just name this version 1. All right, save that. Cool. Coordinate system. This coordinates is just double check. Coordinate system we're in spatial reference, I think. Okay. We're in, yeah, USGS. Okay. But if you wanted to do a coordinate system that's similar to a data set like that, it'll automatically register that data sets. And then you can change your coordinate system through here as well. You know, like UTM and AD8. So like Chattanooga is 16 north there. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So all those look good to me. Data value. Sometimes you want to set that at 0, but it doesn't matter for this. And then we're gonna save it as a Airtis Imagine format. That's the .img. And this already has extension too, so that's good. So we're good to go. Export that. It's gonna already boot up over here. So we can get rid of this one. That one's in memory. Okay. Cool. So yeah, that's NDVI version 1. Let's do something with raster calculator. Okay. So I'm gonna remove this. And then so good sneaky trick to do is to find your data. So this is where so you can add a folder connection like you would in ArcMap. It's pretty much the same thing. My folder connections go into lab 6 data. There's data set 1 in there. So these are already stacked, but you can actually pull out the little trick. You can actually pull out each and every one of the bands and add it into the map. So to do that, you do the drop down here. It's going to list out layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, layer 5, and layer 6. So for NDVI, remember we just need layer 3 and layer 4. You drag layer 3 over there, drag layer 4, and this seems right. We'd have really high values. Let's see. Our crop circles over here. I don't know where that went. I'm gonna pause it right here. Technical difficulties. Hey, we're back. All right, so where I was, this is sharing screen. I think this is sharing screen. Okay, cool. So this is, so I pulled in layers 4 and layer 3. And what you do now is use raster calculator tool. So anybody can boot this up and actually ArcMap. So I think it's under image analysis tools, and then under map algebra, and here's raster calc. Okay, cool. All right, and also what I like to do is rename the data sets. So data set 4 minus and set 5, the NIR. Okay, and this will be LS4, LS5, red. Okay, this makes it easier. Name's a little crazy. All right, and so we can use a conditional operator tool. So we can actually do okay. That was enough. Okay. Let me just take a screenshot of this. Make sure. Okay. Raster calculator. And what we do is we set float. Because that makes the data set decimal values instead of so these are DN values. They're just integer values. Like from 0 all the way up to whatever your bit is, probably 32-bit. We're gonna do so calculation for NDVI. Let me pull that up. So we know it is. This is our NDVI calculation, just NIR minus red divided by NIR plus red. So what we need to do, we're going to do NIR, we're going to do minus red. We're going to close the parentheses. And we're going to do divided by, we also have to do float again. IR plus red. Okay, so we get that. Let's see. Maybe. What did I do before? Let's see. Should be good. That's weird. Their calculator. Okay. Now it's working. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you get an error. It's weird. It's just how Pro works sometimes. So might have to re-enter stuff sometimes. Weird. Okay, so I think we're all set. And then output raster. It's gonna be over here in our data set. So I have my Lab 6 data in here. And so I'm going to copy this name and name it version 2. Save that. Okay. And you can also, it's kind of cool, you can change around your coordinate system, your output coordinate system, environments. And then you can mask out stuff if you have like a shape file over here. You can mask it out depending on that shape file. And then you can change cell size, which is actually, you get to. Yeah. And then yeah. But yeah, okay. But we're gonna run this, see if we get the same similar output. Okay, so I'm gonna pull in actually that same data set. Version 1, version 2, version 1 right here. Okay. They're looking like the same. Cool. Okay, and then we change symbology. So if we highlight one of our data sets, go to raster layer, go to symbology. And we can do classify. And so this is our NDVI classified into 5 classes based on natural jinx. So we wanted to do vegetation versus non-vegetation. We can do set classes as 2. And then natural jinx does a pretty good job at finding that cutoff where vegetation is. I think. So we can stick with that value if we wanted to. But you can change your color ramp, that color scheme. Okay. And then here's the one we usually use for vegetation. It's flipped though. So we need to go more and then we reverse symbol order. Now it's perfect. Okay. So this is continuous though. It's not thematic. We can actually convert this into thematic if you wanted to using raster calculator. So I ran it before. Let's see what it did. Okay, I use a conditional statement. Okay. So I'm going to replicate that. Okay. So if we go back to raster calculator, what we can do. Also, pretty cool thing. We wanted to retain the symbology for something else. Symbology from layer. Okay. I usually use this. So input layer is the symbology we want to change. So that's version 1, and we want to match the symbology to version 2. I think this will work. We run that. Bam. Okay. So they're the same. Oh, for some reason it's not. Oh, that's okay. Okay, now it's the same. Cool. All right, but yeah, let's go back to raster calculator. Let's see. All right, so thematic data, we're going to use a conditional statement. And then we're going to bring in version 1. Doesn't really matter. Do version 2 if we wanted to. And we're going to put it in this greater than, I'm going to try greater than or equal to. And then we're going to match our cutoff and our symbology. So our cutoff was right there. So if we copy that value, paste it in there. All right, so basically it's just saying dataset one is greater than or equal to our cutoff, which is 0.318, and so on. You set that to 1 values, and then also pull in it's a conditional statement, so it's kind of works as an if statement. So if dataset 1 is greater than or equal to that value, it'll set it to 1. And then if it's not, it'll set it to 0. Okay. Kind of weird to wrap your head around, but yeah. And then we're gonna make a new. All right, so we're gonna save this in lab 6 data. So data set 1, version 1. Okay, version 1. We're gonna do view class. And we can also set environments too, which is pretty unique. But once we run that, it should be thematic. Okay. Let's change your symbology though to match that. Yeah, flip it. Okay, this should be the same. Perfect. So that is thematic data right there. Then our labels are weird. I don't know why they did that. Oh, because it's classifying it? Okay. I'm just gonna set unique values. Okay. Yeah, so I see what's going on. Okay. So you can't really classify these without changing the label name. So what I'm gonna do here. Okay. So I'm just gonna copy the color properties. So there's a hex code, and then you can actually copy that. And then you can change Symbology if you paste in the hex code over here. That'll change it to orange. And then we want this hex code too. It'll load. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So these are the same. Awesome. Anything else? You can also do a different conditional statement. This you can make it a little bit easier, but I like conditional statements because you can also string together like multiple conditional statements. And like an example of that, if you go to the documentation raster calculator, I'll pull up this. It kind of gives you a lowdown, but there's also examples, I think, in some, which are really helpful. Kind of explains everything pretty nicely. And let's see, I think there's some examples in here. Yeah, there's some examples right here. But there's a lot of stuff online for it. And if you find something that's ArcMap raster calculator, it'll be the same thing. It's pretty much the same tool in here. So if you type in like additional statements raster calculator, probably pull up some examples. ArcGIS. Probably some good YouTube videos. Too. Yeah. So that might help you with your projects later on. But you can also do another conditional statement. I think I ran this too. So I think this would be the same thing. Option 2. Maybe something different. This will be pretty much the same thing. Let's see. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Just different symbology. Nice. We're gonna match the symbology real quick. Oops. I didn't do anything. Maybe I can't. Oh well. But yeah, that's how you calculate NDVI and classify it. But just remember, you can always change those thresholds. So move that threshold down here, for instance. Yeah, just play around with those thresholds. You see, when you move that threshold down, it knocked out all those. But yeah. Oops. But yeah, that's how to calculate NDVI. So yeah, just let me know if you have any questions. Add some comments to the YouTube, and then I'll try to answer them as best I can. Maybe add some resources to that YouTube video. Okay. All right.